Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Alright, this is really going to be a quick video. And this is obviously a subject matter that I've covered before, but I told you all that I'm going to keep covering this until we bring it home. Alright, because I think this is very important, and I think that this is going to have a very big effect on us. All right, these things that have been going on with the Midwest. I read an article not too long ago that said that they were expecting flooding in the Midwest for the next 2 months because of the snowpack that hasn't melted yet. All right, so not 100% sure if this article covers that, but I'm going to read this article real quick, okay, because it's not that long. But first, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to Amy, Kimberly, Myoni, and Mark. All right, thank you guys very much for supporting the channel. Thank you for sending me a coffee. All right, I just wanted to say thank you very much. I truly do appreciate it, and I hope that you know that I do appreciate it. Okay. Also, having said that, I'm going to go ahead and remind you all that this Sunday is going to be a great video. All right, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. All right, we're going to celebrate our 10,000 subscribers. All right, because, you know, that's kind of like a milestone for YouTube channels. And trust me, I'm blown away. All right, but we're going to have a lot of fun this Sunday. Trust me, we are. Okay, and so please be there 8 a.m. Alaska time, Sunday, this Sunday coming up. Okay. Also, so as you know, I was planning on doing a video for Sunday on how to preserve cheese long term. However, some of the supplies that I'm waiting on may not get here in time for me to do that. However, I have another video that I have planned that is just as good as far as the content. Okay, so I think that whichever one I do, whether it be cheese preserving or the other one is going to be making a loaf of bread, all right, from scratch. But I'm going to be using a foldable Coleman oven, all right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen those before, but this is a small oven that you can use on your stovetop or over a campfire or over coals or anything like that, all right? So it's going to be one of those two, but both will be pretty good, you know, will be pretty good content as far as learning how to do a prepping thing. All right, so let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. So the title of the article is "The Food Crisis is Upon Us. Hundreds of millions of dollars in crops destroyed." And this article was published on the 9th of April. Okay, so it was published yesterday. But when you guys see this video, it'll be 2 days ago. All right, so here we go. Prepare for rising prices at the grocery store and perhaps a lack of certain items. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of food crops have been destroyed by flooding in the Midwest, and farmers have already said there's nothing the government can do to help. The worst economic disaster for farmers is upon us as we succumb to the effects of an unnecessary trade war. Farmers are declaring bankruptcy at an alarming and historic rates, and flooding is destroying the remaining crops. A food crisis is upon us all. And this is an excerpt. Our ongoing trade war with China had greatly depressed prices of wheat, corn, and soybeans, and so farmers were storing more crops on their farms than ever before in early 2019. And then the floods came. The water moved so fast that the vast majority of the farmers in the affected areas could not have moved what they had stored, even if they wanted to. And the scale of the losses that these farmers have suffered is starting to become clearer. According to UPI, hundreds of millions of dollars in crops that were destroyed by the flooding were not covered by insurance. And it goes on to say, according to government regulations, when stored crops are flooded, those crops must be destroyed rather than sold. And the dictators writing these laws cannot do anything to help in this crisis situation. The government doesn't have any sort of a program to cover those losses, many of which were uninsured. In fact, the USDA's Undersecretary Bill Northey told Reuters that there is nothing the U.S. government can do to help. Hundreds of farmers will not be able to recuperate losses after last month's historic floods in the Midwest. Millions of bushels of grains were destroyed in more than 800 on-farm storage bins. Wow. Most of the destruction took place in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. The U.S. government spent frivolously whenever they want, so now they are closing the purse. We've been telling anyone who would listen for quite some time that faith and salvation should never be put in someone else's hands. Amen. That's what prepping is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever put your faith and salvation in someone else's hands. Okay? Because your Creator gave you the freedom of will to be able to provide for yourself. Okay? And when you put your faith, all right, and or salvation in someone else's hands, then you're giving yourself to that entity, right? Reliance on the government, especially government, right? Reliance on the government should be diminished as much as possible if humanity wants to have a hope and prayer of not going extinct in the future. The government is over $22 trillion in debt, yet people still think the money to bail them out awaits. Unfortunately, these farmers have discovered the cold hard facts that most difficult way possible. If you ever considered becoming more self-sufficient, it isn't too late. Try growing your own food and consider lessening your reliance on anyone else for any necessity. And that's the article. This is a great article, ladies and gentlemen, because it goes right to the heart of the matter. And this last sentence says it all. If you have ever considered becoming more self-sufficient, it's not too late. And he's right, it's not too late, all right? It's like I said before, it's never too late to do the right thing, okay? So you have time. We have been blessed with time, all right? Some people have not. Some people are going through their own SHTF as we speak. But we, those of you that are listening, we have been blessed with time, okay? Consider lessening your reliance on anyone else for necessity. All right, for any necessity. All right, and so that's what I wanted to go over, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing here. All right, so you know this food crisis that's coming. All right, it's going to be because of a lack of food, right? Because supply and demand, right? But I was also reading another article right here, and I'm not going to read this article. I just wanted to show you it real quick. $4 gas is becoming a reality for many in California. Here's why prices continue to rise. All right, I'm not going to go through the article on why prices are continuing to rise. But ladies and gentlemen, agriculture runs on energy, okay? All the way from making the seed to planting it, to growing it, fertilizing it, to harvesting it, to processing it, to moving it, all right? It all runs on energy. What energy is that? It's oil, all right? Oil, gasoline, diesel fuel, all right? All of these things, fertilizers are made out of, you know, petroleum byproducts, all right? So if the price of oil, i.e. gasoline, diesel fuel, etc., is going up, what do you think that's going to do to the price of goods in general? And in this instance, I'm talking about food. What do you think that's going to do to the price? So we are heading towards the perfect storm as far as I'm concerned. All right. Not only do we have bad weather, but the price of oil is going up. All right. The president the other day, and it doesn't matter, please don't bring politics into this. All right. I'm just stating a fact. All right. The president the other day was saying that the Federal Reserve should not only lower interest rates, all right, but that the Federal Reserve should start another round of quantitative easing. And for those of you that do not know what quantitative easing is pretty much, putting it in layman terms, is pretty much printing money out of thin air. So in other words, diluting the money supply by making more money out of nothing. All All right. And money, what I mean by money is what we think as money. A $5 bill, a $10 bill, a $20 bill. All right. So they're asking that the Federal Reserve print money out of thin air, which will dilute our money supply. What happens when our money supply is diluted? It becomes worth less. All right. You will be able to buy less with it than what you were able to before that additional amount of money was injected into the economy. The only people that benefit from quantitative easing or money printing are the people that get to spend that money first. They get to spend that money at the very first time, all right? That money is still able to buy you what everything else is able to buy you. But once it gets injected into the economy, it's going to make the value of all the other dollars in everyone else's pockets and or digits on your computers worth less. You'll be able to buy less with it. So not only are we being hit by natural forces, but we're also being hit by man-made forces as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end it there, okay, because I think I've said everything I need to say, and I'm not going to ramble on for 20 minutes, even though I would like to. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let me leave it at that. Okay, thank you very much for chiming in today. Listen, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And why do I say hit the subscribe button? Take a look at the comments and take a look at what an awesome community we have. Okay, number one. Number two, this channel is here because this community wants to encourage people to be prepared. All right. For what? I don't know. For anything. All right. So that you can be more self-sufficient. All right. Just like that article that I just read said. So that if something happens in your life that you cannot control, that you will at least be able to control, all right, where your food comes from. As far as you being able to have some food put away, as far as you being able to have some supplies put away that you use on a regular basis. All right. That's what we're here for. We're here to help people who want to start preparing for themselves and their families. And we are here to encourage each other, the ones that are already prepping, to continue to prep and to continue to reach one, teach one. All right. That's what this community is about. All right. So take a look at the comments. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing and come and join our great community. All right. For those of you that are here every time that I put out a video, I want to thank you guys very much. All right. You guys are the foundation of this community. All right. Those of you that are here every day when I put up a video. Thank you very much for all of your comments. Thank you very much for all of your support. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me leave it at that. So remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. And you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.